14, but I never liked the way that it made me feel, and my family had me take breaks on the weekends and during the summertime, but I just always felt paranoid and had a lot of anxiety when I was on it. Just helped me get through school. I don't know if it has like any direct part to play, but I think it's important to develop the chemicals that are supposed to develop when you're younger. So it might, but just being put in that research lab made me feel like something's wrong with you. You're going through this whole process. It's very intimidating. Getting $20 to take all these tests on a computer, and there was a window. It was actually a mirror that was actually a window. It was like a heavy-duty research lab where they were doing tests, and that's where you get the numbers on the back of those pamphlets when you go to the pharmacy today. So I decided I'm not taking this anymore at 14. And then at 15, I met my first boyfriend. He was very charming at first, but then became very physically abusive. And I guess I just transferred from one thing to another. I guess, to be honest, the symptoms probably came back full force, and I just didn't know how to deal with myself and the abusive relationship. So I just fell into smoking marijuana, and I just started doing that with him, drinking, and cutting school, going to his house every day. But then the physical abuse just flew over the handle. So then I just started working in a lot of clubs. I wanted fast money, and then in the club scene is where I got introduced to cocaine for a year, and then the next thing you know, at the age of 18, I was just on heroin every single day. And I didn't know that it was going to have a physical change, physical effect. I didn't know much about what I was doing. I just didn't want to feel. I think it was from just feeling this heartache. My family had a divorce when I was 14. That's when I met the boyfriend. So everything was just a recipe at that moment for something to fly off the handle. So I just found a false sense of peace in heroin. So I was on it for 3 years. Sniffing, said I'd never shoot, was terrified of that, but one thing progresses to another. And somehow I got in trouble into some run-ins with the law, ended up on drug court, and they had me land in almost every single treatment facility you could name on the island. And I tried to get help, and it helped me being in there, but it was on the outside when I was alone with myself. Like, I was the problem. I was still going to be there with myself, and I wasn't ready at that time. So I had a couple more legal struggles, and then finally I just ended up hitting a rock bottom. It was interesting through this presentation how you guys said you made changes to the jail system, because being on 136 milligrams of methadone and getting none for 7 days or 6 days in Riverhead, that's what they did. That's what they did. I remember every hour seeing a CO walk by, so I know an hour passed because there's no clock in there. You know, waiting for the morning to come. And but that rock bottom brought me to the end of myself, and it was necessary and it was required so that I could reach out for a higher power. And that's why faith is my pathway of recovery, but I had to have the rug stripped from under me and go through all that. But I'm glad people that are incarcerated now are able to get medication, because then it was not that way at all. And also in relation to what the presentation was about earlier, when in one of the rehabs, Phoenix House, I was forced off Suboxone against my will, but I was mandated there through drug court. So it was without a choice. You have to get off this if you want to stay out of jail and stay in Phoenix House where you're mandated. When they finally gave me my last pill, the counselor said, "Don't you feel great now you're clean? Now you're sober." And I got so aggravated, like so frustrated on the inside, because to me, I felt sober with that medication. I felt like it was helping me, but there was no choice to stay on it to the end of the program. But that was my journey. And then a couple years later, I decided to work on getting off, like one thing at a time. So my journey, I guess, was a little different. Complete abstinence. There was a time where once I got Suboxone, but still had to work on getting off marijuana, still have to work on cigarette addiction and whatever else, one thing at a time. But my rock bottom was in Riverhead Correctional Facility. I called out to a higher power. I repented of my sins because I felt like I was unclean from the life I was living, and I just wanted forgiveness. And I never felt that way before being put in that position. So that breaking period was an epic moment for me to reach out to something else greater than myself. And I just felt the peace that came over me. I started reading the Bible in there, and I didn't know much about what I was reading.